Cool. And then how about the recovery, John? When do you anticipate we're going to see some recovery within the market? Maybe by segment would be useful as well in terms of whether we're looking at international, investor, downsides, etc.
Listen, I think if I start with the international market, as I spoke of before, we're already seeing, and Andrew spoke of, CBRE seeing it interstate, but we're seeing it here in Melbourne, an increased inquiry out of China. We're seeing, Chinese economy starting to come back up to full speed. I think they're running at about 80% now. So we're starting to slowly see a bit more overseas Chinese interest. Locally here, I think it's going to take at least 6 months post the lockdown for people to start building some momentum into the market, inquiries to build again. I think the people that have navigated this situation well in terms of their cash flow and their employment will be able to capitalise on the situation in the first 6 months, whether they be investors or owner-occupiers. I think there'll be some great buying opportunities. But to get it back to where we were pre this health scare, I think it could take up to 18 months, 2 years.
I hope you're wrong, but you're probably not. What do you reckon, Andrew?
Yeah, I agree with John in many ways. I'm thinking to get back to where we were in February, which was optimistic momentum, strong clearance rates, house price growth. That is not a quick fix. I'm thinking that is circa 2 years to get back to where we were. But immediately post coming back from the pandemic, the people with money are going to be buying and buying quickly. There's really, there's sort of two markets in many ways, the haves and the have-nots. And there's plenty of good opportunities for buying immediately post-pandemic. And I feel that we'll get a nice bump as soon as we get back to work. But to get back to the level is going to take a long time. And as I said, confidence and momentum are two things that our market depends a lot on. And that really is reflected in the local unemployment figure. And we need economic activity to stabilise, to grow again, for people to get back to working and to get confident again in the housing price. But Melbourne and Australia recovers the best. We saw that with the GFC, an unbelievable recovery. We expect the same thing because the state and federal governments appear to be managing this particular issue well. That gives confidence to people that we live in a good society, that's a good place to be investing money into. And we know the great education story about Melbourne. We know the affordability piece compared to Sydney. We just see that Melbourne has so much to offer. So we'll be back and doing business immediately post-recovery, but back to our highs, that's going to take some time.
Just to add to that, I think, the fundamentals are going to be there. There is going to be a lack of supply. And throughout my 30-year career, I have never seen commercial construction prices go backwards. In fact, since records have been kept here in Australia since 1942, commercial construction prices haven't gone backwards. So rest assured that you aren't going to buy a brand new off-the-plan apartment cheaper than what you'll buy today. So in 2 years' time, it's going to be more expensive, and in 4 years' time, it's going to be more expensive than that. So if you've got the capacity and the financial capacity, as Andrew says, you're one of the haves, it's going to be a great time to buy.
Look, I think at the end of the day, the audience is still there. The fundamentals are still there. The reality is that some of the competitive dimensions that developers are competing on are going to be a little bit different. Transparency, content, updates are going to be super. But at the end of the day, it's many of the same things. That was kind of wrapping it up. I hope that was helpful for everyone. Look, urban is going to continue to be a part of the industry. We've, over the last 12 months, we've given away about 20,000 free off-the-plan leads. We'll continue to support the industry as much as we can. Next week, we've got Steph Bannon from Stockland jumping on board. We're hoping to have the other person announced for today, but it's coming out on Monday, who the other speaker is. But really, it's going to be how Australia's largest developers are responding. We've heard from two of the best in the biz on the agency side, and so we're stoked to hear from people on the developer side. But on behalf of everyone on the call, Andrew and John, we really appreciate you guys taking the time. As I said, we're all in this thing together, and we're going to come out the other side together as well.
Pleasure, Mike.
Good on you, Mike. Thanks, John.
See you, Andrew. Bye.
See you guys.